welcome to the Alexandra Wenman Show. I am so delighted to introduce you to my guest today, Leon Kamer, who happens to be a fellow Aussie, which is great.
Hello, Alexandra.
Now, Leon is a coach, he's a musician, he's a writer, he is you're just a polymath extraordinaire, aren't you, Leon?
Don't make me use the overused cliche. Master of none.
Master of none, jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, something like that.
Yep. So can you tell us a little bit about you, my lovely? How did you get into the coaching side of things?
Oh my God. I think my coaching comes from my life experiences rather than a manual. What happened is I started in fashion design actually when I was way back in my 20s, and went on to the music business, and there's been a ton of different careers and businesses and so forth. So I've had great experiences, a lot of traveling, ran businesses in about 6 countries. I sound like I'm boasting, but I'm not. That's just what happened. I made the choice.
Citizen of the planet, right?
Global citizen, yeah. And I think those life experiences, I think it was a natural step for me. I didn't sort of wake up one day and say, ooh, I want to be a coach. I know that it's, shall we say, a fashionable kind of thing that's happening at the moment. And fantastic. I think coaches are needed. I think as we're going on into what is not an easy life, I think people are looking for coaching.
Absolutely.
And so it comes as a whole tapestry of life experiences. Not that I haven't done the study and have the certificates and all those, but I don't believe they match the life experiences that I bring to the table. And the challenges and successes that I've been through is what I bring to the table. And I think that gives me the ability to identify with people. So when people tell me something, I've lived a similar pattern through that or something similar. So by being able to identify with that, I can coach them through it.
I tend to agree.
Or I can take them to another step and sort of, unravel their own greatness, if you will. Because,
it's
we all know
that the universe does bring us people. It only brings us the people we can really help, right? I find that there's...
Yeah, once upon a time I didn't even believe that. But as I'm getting more mature, I that's what's happening. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's strangely enough you say that, but I opened, and the other day I thought, I need a notebook. I haven't got a notebook. So I grabbed one of my old notebooks that I haven't opened for ages, and in there was written 4th of the 4th, 2016, and there were a couple of goals there. I'm going to be a life coach and coach high achievers. And that's just open on that page. And now I'm doing it. So weird. So yeah, we do get moved into the right direction by the universe. But once upon a time I used to say it, and now I'm experiencing it.
Now you're experiencing it. And I find that speeding up too, like more and more, these moments are dropping in, aren't they? And there's evidence.
I could get booked for speeding the way I feel at the moment. It's just, life is moving so fast. I think 2019 in particular has been going bang for you too.
Yeah, it's like something's
What's
really
happening?
gone zhunk back into alignment. I find that since
I'm writing music, I'm coaching, I'm writing a book.
Yes.
Page 12.
Well, that's how Leon and I met, by the way, guys. We met on a writing workshop evening,
the writer's
didn't we?
salon.
Yeah, but it was funny because I walked in, saw him, and had
the
one
back
of those.
Of me.
Saw the back of him, and had one of those moments of that guy. I need to speak to that guy, and I just kind of felt like a weird, almost like I knew you. It was weird. I have this with the universe.
And then we talked at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, we did. Oh my God, you're Australian. Oh my God. Yeah. And we've both been over here because we're both in the UK.
I'm getting on to 8 years, and you?
20 years coming up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But you've been out of Australia for a long time.
You haven't lost a drop of your accent.
Thanks.
I've been out of Australia since 97. I've lived in 6 countries. I sound like a travel agent, but we started off in Thailand with a family, mind you, 2 kids.
Wow.
So the kids were educated in 6 countries, and then it was Paris, and then it was New York. I know I sound like an aftershave bottle, and and then it was Rome. And I'm not saying that to impress anyone like it was done easily. It wasn't.
No.
It came with a lot of challenges. it came with a lot of, shall I use the word guts?
Yeah.
Or something, you know, and it came with a lot of scary things too, because the unknown is scary. But, you know, the wife I had then had a lot of certainty, and I'm glad I did it.
Wow.
And it's all those things that have brought me to this, that I can coach.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to have those experiences.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can be, you know, in a little cottage somewhere, you know, for 40 years in a little island, say I'm going to be a coach. I don't think that.
No, because it's like you've got this.
Unless you're coaching monkeys.
It's like an adaptability, isn't it? You adapt to your circumstances. You can. You learn to cope with anything life chucks at you, don't you?
I'm excited because
Yeah.
I like people. You know,
Yeah.
I'm excited. So when I see that spark in someone that, you know, that I think I've brought some greatness or unblocked something, it's a great feeling, and I'm learning and they're learning. So it's reciprocal.
And have you noticed that, is there a theme through your coaching, or is everybody that comes to you different? Do you focus on one sort of like, do you get business people
I
and
do.
all sorts?
Well, I've got a doctor and I've got an actress, so yeah, it's pretty diverse. Yeah, everyone's different, everyone's going for different goals, obviously. And it's not just about goals. You know, you've got people that have got blockages, whether it's from a relationship or whatever. So I'm there to unblock them. And, you know, coaching really to me is that the client does the work. And even though I'm talking a lot in this interview,
It's about you, honey.
I actually completely shut up. So I listen, and it's the way in which you listen that creates the breakthrough, the way in which you listen. So you're not listening with your ears, but you're listening with your heart. And I think coaching without some form of spirituality, and I don't want to go into I'm a guru, I'm not. I came to spirituality quite late in life. You know, we've all read the books, the Deepak Chopras and, you know, the Eckhart Tolles and all that, but it's being it, not reading it. And I came into it late in life. And I think coaching without spirituality, for me, if I was opening a coaching school, which I might one day, spirituality have to be part of it. Because I think you're listening with your heart, you're trying to connect to that person, and you can't connect just with your brain. You've got to feel them.
Absolutely agree. You have to feel what they're kind of feeling, don't you?
You do.
So tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey, because this
Oh.
show is about spirituality, really. I mean, we delve right in on this. We can go as weird and out there as you want.
That's what I'm scared of. Well, in the last 6 years, I came across Kabbalah.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people think Kabbalah is a religion, or they might associate it with Madonna, because I mean, she did popularise it
she
because
did,
of her
yeah.
notoriety. But what Kabbalah really is it's taken from the Jewish Torah, which is the Jewish Bible, and it's decoding it. Now, I'll make that as simple as I can. So it's a metaphor for your own life. So rather than like religion, and I'm not putting down anyone out there that's into religion, but rather than the strictness of religion, which is don't ask too many questions, just do this. And to me, that has a kind of a blind faith to it, religion as we know it. This decodes, so when Moses crossed the Red Sea, it's regardless whether he actually crossed the Red Sea or not, Kabbalah takes that particular piece from the Bible and decodes it into it's your Red Sea, you're crossing the Red Sea. Whether that happened or not becomes irrelevant. It's a metaphor for your own life. So it's a spirituality based on that, and it's not blind faith. It's also quite almost technical in its explanation. It's got a tree of life. It's all about sharing. It's all about giving, sharing, and not being selfish. You know, I guess love thy neighbour,
Which is
that's all Kabbalah is. It's just love thy neighbour. So, you know, and I try to sort of bring it into my everyday life, and it really makes my day. If I'm being nice to someone while I'm buying a coffee, I've made her day. Just nice, not in a phony way. Just have a great day. Yeah, befriend them.
Yeah.
You know, and so I try to sort of do that on a daily basis. And Kabbalah's taught me that. It's not about me. I've got a decent ego. A really decent ego. But you don't have to give up the ego. You have to give up the selfishness of the ego. So you can retain your ego. You're not going to change your DNA.
No. But we're with it, you know.
Unless you're Keith Richards. But you're not going to change the DNA. So you work with it and you realise it's not all about you. Because, I started in a very egotistical business. I was on TV in Australia and I was in show business and I was on the road. And, when you're sort of in your early 20s, that can give you a very big head and think you're the shit.
Thing.
Excuse me.
Shit. Brilliant.
And then you realise, hey, I can retain this ego, but I don't have to buy it. Because we all put on these jackets, we say, I'm Leon or I'm Alexandra and this is me. No, it's not. When you take off the jacket, take off the layers, that's you. Let's find the real you.
Yeah.
Heart.
Absolutely.
So that's my thing into spirituality. I'm not an expert. I'm not, I'm not Oprah.
But you're living it, right?
I'm living it. I'm feeling it, but I'm not sort of. Look, like anything, you can take it too far. People sort of, people are walking around in this. Spirituality doesn't mean you have to lose your sense of humour.
No.
It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you have to give up certain things. I think people are a little bit scared of it in that way, that they see spirituality as, I'm going to lose my life because I'm going to be spiritual.
I think the whole point is,
do you know what I mean?
It's integrate. To me, it's which I love about the Kabbalah tree of life, because that's interestingly one of the symbols in my Precious Wisdom healing system that I channeled, and I didn't know anything about it when it came through. But I love that it is basically integrating our divinity, that divine perfection, right, into our earthly everyday existence. So it's not separating yourself from life, it's seeing all life as sacred, and every part of life, every footstep, every breath you take, every move you make.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
as part of our oneness with the divine, but we are the unique expression of that. And it's, to me, it's not militant, it's not denying yourself anything, which is what traditional religion would tell you, like give up whatever and be ashamed of your body and all of that stuff. It's not about that. It's about really simply following the calling of your heart, of what makes you happy, of what fulfills you. And as long as you're not hurting anyone or anything, and you're doing it lovingly, and you're doing it in a way that is kind. But love is also power. Love is also saying no when you need to.
Oh yeah.
But I think if we all followed our inner fulfillment and our inner calling, our inner desires, it would benefit everybody, because there wouldn't be any need to go to war and fight over things. It would mean that everyone had the ability to honour each other.
Or greed. There'd be no greed.
Yeah, no greed. And to me, that's, when you look at that Kabbalistic symbol and you look at the invisible sphere, to me that is representative of true gnosis, and that's true divine expression. That is living divinity and expressing that your divinity through your human experience.
Sort of an endlessness.
Totally.
Really. And we talk about endlessness as a word.
Yeah.
But it's a hard thing to feel.
Yeah.
You can't feel endlessness. We know it's it's just that connection to the light. Kabbalah is all about light. It's not about worshipping God. It's about light.
Well, you are God, right?
Yeah.
We
Some
all
of
are.
God's DNA is in there.
Yeah.
It's consciousness, and people say, "Well, what is consciousness? What is consciousness?" I think how would you define consciousness?
To me, well, there's kind of two aspects to it, because one side of consciousness, to be conscious, is kind of to be aware or to be awake. So it's bringing the unknown into the known, into the what you understand, in bringing the mystery into the rational. So it's balancing those. But then there's also this infinite consciousness that we are part of, that we know nothing about. So it's trying to, the more, as you kind of explore consciousness, it's realizing actually that the more we know, the more we realize we don't really know anything. And I think that's where you kind of come into that almost like a type of humility, in that spirituality where, you know, you're not the guru because you realize you don't know it all, and yet we all have something to share and something to teach, despite the fact that we don't know it all, and we don't have to wait to know it all to start to share our wisdom because we're all learning from each other. So to me, consciousness is
How do
something...
people know when they're ready, though?
I guess it's just a feeling. I mean, I've struggled with this. This is why, you know, I'm writing this book. And this book that I'm writing currently about precious wisdom this to me is the pure birthing of my soul's expression, and this is why it's been so hard to bring through. I've been writing it since 2012. It's a long time, and I've written chunks and I've put it away and I've read it back and I've cringed and I've gone, ugh, and I just have to keep going. And now I'm at this place with it where it literally feels painful, like I've been birthing something. And I think that because we are, right, we're birthing a whole new eon for this planet. We're birthing a whole new era, a whole new paradigm, and we're leaving behind this old, outdated, too patriarchal kind of structure, and we're coming into this beautiful, balanced, masculine, feminine, mystery, logic, and we're learning so much. But a lot of us are way showers, you know, we're here to kind of show there's a different way of doing things. You don't have to follow the status quo. You'll never get anywhere if you just do what's always been done before. But some of the concepts I'm talking about in this book, much like this YouTube channel, are pretty out there. You know, I have visions, I am in connection with beautiful light beings and angelic beings, and there are other realms and universes within universes within universes. But the beauty of it is they all exist within us, and at some level it's all part of us, it's not separate. So I kind of teaching about this divinity and this oneness. We're here to express our uniqueness whilst also being part of that oneness. And so I guess that's consciousness to me. I know.
Do you think it's like a muscle that if we keep using it, it prolongs the usage?
Yeah, and
does that make sense?
It's like going to the gym. The more I mean, when I started, I didn't, you know,
I still feel a newbie to this. I still feel quite new to this. It's just fell on me, this thing called spirituality.
Me too.
Yeah, I've been doing Kabbalah for 6 years, but it takes 4 just to get initiated, you know? It takes time for it to kick in.
Well, it's interesting because I kind of came in as a little child, being very open, and I have memories of seeing beings around me and communicating, and I could telepathically speak to animals and things. And then I shut it down for a long time. So I felt...
That's a gift, though.
No, not. I think we all have it, though. It's just whether or not we choose
but
to
why,
develop it.
how come... Yeah, we may all have it, but how come yours was untapped at such an early age?
I believe it's because I used it in previous lifetimes and I developed it. So I came in with it, and then and then it's like I closed it down, and then I had to remember it. So all of this wisdom that we have, that we're sharing, including like your coaching, the stuff that you just know, because it's like we channel without even knowing that we're channeling. We're tapping into something. And when you know those times when, because I know you do this, Leon, where you're just
I think
speaking,
you know a lot.
It's like it's what we call claircognizance, right? It's just clear knowing. And it's knowingness. You don't know how you know it. You know it's right because it's a feeling that comes over you. There's a purity in it. And somehow you know that what you're speaking is truth and is going to help the person with you, and that's that heart openness that you're feeling.
Right.
And when you're really connected, you're not just connected in the heart to that person, you're connected to that infinite love energy, which is consciousness. It's love. It's
so
unconditional.
you're channeling the light and relating it to the person,
and then bring it through and expressing it. And you know when it's in flow, because then
come
that
with an
person goes,
instruction
whoa, and you don't know how you're doing it, right?
That's
But
right.
Because you're using your heart.
And the person goes, whoa, and you think you've done nothing.
Yeah.
And it's whoa
and
anyway.
you've changed their life in a sentence.
That's what coaching is.
Yeah.
And you haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you said one word.
Yeah. And that one word is enough to plant a seed of self-belief in someone, or it's the feeling as well.
Yeah, but staying in that consciousness, which you obviously are a master of, but staying in that...
If you're ever a master, I don't know.
Staying in that consciousness, I think, takes something.
It gets easier the more you do it, like you said. So it is like going to the gym. It is, you know, it's like life's work. So from the minute I kind of started really reawakening, which for me happened the minute it started around 14, I was having 7-year cycles, but the minute I landed in the UK around the age of 21, 22, I cracked open. And I went through this really dark spiral into depression, but then I started to have visitations from like my dead great-grandmother, and I started to really wake up with it. And then I threw myself into it later in my 20s, probably around 2007, I really stepped onto the path and became determined to learn to love myself.
Were you being driven? Or did you make a conscious decision?
I made a conscious decision because I got my heart broken really badly. Because
tell
I
me
was
that.
looking for love outside of myself. And that's the thing, it's about loving yourself. Because the more you love you, and it's not selfish to do that, the more love you then have to share with others. Because I do believe that like attracts like. And if you don't love you, then how can anyone else love you? So that's what I teach people.
Been there, done
self-love,
that.
yeah.
I still find, I don't want to talk about me because I know it's not about me.
It is about you.
I
crapping on about me.
Even though I'm coaching and I've got, as I said, the life experiences and am like-minded about the things you said, I still find self-love, that subject of self-love, as a form of self-love. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I still find that tough.
Difficult. But that's our conditioning.
I mean, I do it,
Yeah.
but it's like I want to go in there and rip off that iron shield. And I think when you don't have self-love or enough self-love, you come with a disguise because you're not being real to you. So how can you be real to the other? So I work a lot more on that whilst I'm coaching. I work, I make sure that I meditate the self-love. Not that I got self-hate, but you can always use more self-love.
Yeah.
The more you love yourself, the more you love others. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you finding in your coaching that everyone you work with has a little nugget of wisdom that you're learning back, right?
Totally.
Because I find with my clients, I'm learning as much from them as they're learning from me.
Totally.
And we're always growing, and it's this beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Because they're already perfect and good to start with, so you can learn from that as well. And they're coming with their individual souls, and you're coming with yours. And if you can connect those souls, you've got the result.
Yeah.
Does that sound?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bingo.
I think in
But there's no formula.
no,
There's no formula.
Everyone's finding their own way, and it is actually like a
There's a
big train
formula with a
adventure.
book. Well, look, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end because there's a methodology to
Yeah.
coaching, and I think you've got to do that to make the person know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's a methodology. That's an equation, if you will. Yeah, 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, and this is what we're doing. You have to do that because that's called professional. But within the tapestry of all that, I think it's really just about connection.
Yeah, because everyone's different, right? And every interaction that we have is completely different and completely unique, and we all look at the world through our own unique lens. Even if you're raised the same way by the same parents and you've been through the same stuff, you're still going to have your own unique perception on what this reality is and what the world is, and then we're sharing that, so then you get all these extra perceptions and ways of seeing. That's why I love having to be open-minded about it.
And not to judge the person that's in front of you, because that's such a natural instinct. Someone sits in front of you, you met them for the first time, and you think, I can't judge this person because I'm just there heart to heart. I can't judge the navy jacket or where's he from, because our minds, our intellect immediately says, oh, this woman is blah, and you think, no, that's a thought. And I'm not coming from a thought.
No.
I'm coming from wanting to help this person on a love level, to do the most for her. So judgments, getting back to Kapala again, it's like a taboo. You don't judge, because the minute you judge, you're disconnected.
Absolutely.
And you want to be one with the light, and you want no space. It's you and the light, no space. Space creates negativity, whether it's judgment, greed, not sharing. Space between you and the light or space between you and consciousness.
Yeah.
Consciousness is the light. Creates disconnection.
Yeah.
I want to be connected.
Yeah.
So I want to stop judging.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I haven't,
Yeah.
but I do it much less and less day to day.
That's why what you said about the coming from the heart, when you feel rather than look from the surface level. I mean, looking in someone's eyes, I find that I get a lot from looking in somebody's eyes.
You're hypnotising me.
You can see the depth of the soul. You can really see into the soul.
Really?
And then what I do in a session with somebody is, open the heart. But I have this ability that has developed over time and working with, because Precious Wisdom works similarly to Kabbalah. It really links you into your divine self. And then what I can do, what I tend to be able to do is I can see, because I'm very clairvoyant, so I can see into the energy field. But I'm mostly feeling, so I can feel what the other person is feeling. And if they don't even know that they're feeling it, I can feel where there might be a trapped emotion or something going on within them, and then I'm sort of being shown, and have an amazing guide team that come in and help as well. But see, I believe we all have these extrasensory gifts, and we're just, as a society, as a race, we've forgotten how to use them. A veil has dropped over this these gifts, and what's happening is we're reawakening to it. And all these tools like Kabbalah, like Precious Wisdom, like any system of, I'd say healing, but we really don't need to be healed. We're already divinely perfect. We're just needing to remember that, right? And the more we're remembering that, the more we're integrating those parts of us that we've separated from.
And people are crying out for that connection.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm fine. You know, used to say coaching to people, and they'd go, They say coaching to people now, and they say, tell me more.
Cool, yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
People are seeking uplifting.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
It must be a better one.
They are. And to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be felt, to be understood. You know, all of that. So I want to know, because I know that this is part of everything that you're about, is I want to know a little bit more about your music, because you actually wrote a song, didn't you, for the Kabbalah?
Yeah, I did. No, I've been writing songs for ages, sort of, I guess in the poppy field. I sometimes sort of
in the poppy field.
I
was picturing
poppies.
opium.
In the pop area.
Yeah.
I guess modern music. Let's say modern / spiritual. Going more into the spiritual lately, but you know, spiritual doesn't mean it can't be modern.
Yeah.
Leonard Cohen proved that, didn't he?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we did. We were the Zohar's Book of Splendor. It's not a Bible. It's the Zohar, or the Kabbalah's book is called the Zohar, which means splendor. And in that is the decoded version of the Torah, which I was talking about before. And it's written in Aramaic and explained in English. And Kabbalah distributes that. That's a book of splendor. It brings light, healing,
Is that the
abundance.
little one that they give
I've
out?
got a little one, but there's also big black ones. But did I give you a little one?
No, one of my friends
I'm going to give
did.
you one. I'm going to give you a big one.
Oh.
And it's a beautiful book, and we spread it all over the world for free. And in order to uplift the meaning of that, I was asked with another Kabbalah student to write a song. So we wrote a song called "Be a Part of It."
I'll share the link below so everyone can hear
be a
it.
part of it / Zohar project. Be a part of it / Zohar project. They can find that on YouTube.
It's beautiful.
And thanks.
Yeah.
And so that kind of opened me up to continue writing along that path. So yeah, I do that, and I find that strangely enough, my music, my coaching, I'm writing a book about me, 2 pages.
You've read me a bit. It's really good.
So I'm up to about page 15 about my life story. They've all come together at the right time. I met you at the Writer Salon, because it's all about expression and learning, and sort of music, writing my book, coaching. For some reason, I just see it all in one barrel of experience.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, because it's all part of who we are.
And it's all come out at me at the same time. You know, I'm busy. You know, like it's so ridiculous. People say they're busy. What am I? I'm consumed and I'm on a train that's travelling really fast. I don't think it's ever travelled this fast, and hopefully it's going somewhere that will benefit everyone.
I love it, Leon. Well, I have one last thing, because obviously things have been a bit intense on this planet of recent years, right? We've all had...
You're being very gentle
We've
now.
all had ups and downs, I think, and I find that it's part of this kind of quickening energy that we're in, and it does feel like we're in that.
I thought it was only me.
No, it's like everybody's going through it, but I just wondered, do you have any words of advice or wisdom for people watching as to
what to do about that energy?
Yeah, or how to cope, or how to...
I think just be aware that it's there and don't let it leak. It's like, don't dissipate it. It's like a bucket. Like, harness it, know it's there, and don't let it leak out everywhere. Because sometimes when you're travelling at 1,000,000 miles an hour like we are at the moment, trying to please everybody, and don't try to please everybody. Harness your energy. It gives you more power. I'm not saying ignore your friends. Harness your energy. Know that you're moving at a fast pace. Look after your body. Have more rest. We need it in these times. Eat better if you can. And, people think, oh yeah, well, eating better is going to cost me more money. No, it's going to cost you less money. I'm not, I happen to be a vegetarian, not a vegan. And I'm not the guy who says, oh, you should be a vegetarian, stop eating meat. People will make their own decisions on that. But, if you're a vegetarian and you're eating, just for example, beans and rice and legumes and salads, that's a very inexpensive way of eating, and yet it's healthy.
Yeah.
So I found when I was eating meat and fish and all that stuff, it was expensive. And I know this is ridiculous to say. I shouldn't say it.
No, go for it.
Cheese does nothing for anybody.
No, but
Cheese
it tastes good.
It's brilliant. Oh, it's wonderful. But it does nothing for anybody.
It's just large going on to it.
I'm not saying don't eat cheese, but let's not make cheese number one thing, a staple thing in our diet. It's really easy to be healthy, and I'm not a nutritionalist.
No.
Nutritionalist.
But it's common sense.
It goes with my lifestyle. Diet and exercise. I mean, you've heard it for years, but guess what? It works. I do yoga. I'm not a matchstick. I don't want to be a matchstick, but do something. Do something. It clears the mind. So we're in a really fast universe. Don't slow it down. Get the most out of it while you're on this bullet train. But harness your energies. Live healthier. Eat well. Think about what you're doing. Just get it together.
Get it together.
Get it together.
There's a song in that.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a song in that. Oh.
So there you go.
That's
So that's
awesome.
that's the layman's advice of how to live in that respect. Because I'm not going to say I'm a coach that's also I'm a nutritionalist, and, performance, and teach you how to ride a bike, and I'd like to think that I kind of coach high achievers to go higher.
Yeah.
And now a high achiever doesn't mean that you have to be a CEO. No. It means that you're feeling like wanting to be a high achiever. It's not, if a little old lady comes to me and says, I want some coaching, am I going to knock her back? Of course I'm not. I'll give her everything I can. But my own experiences, I want to coach high achievers or people that want to become high achievers. What does high achieving mean? It doesn't mean just being a CEO in a company. You want to be the best yoga teacher ever.
Yeah.
You want to be the best chef ever.
Be the best of yourself.
Be the best of yourself. Expand on what you already are, and it's already in there. I'm just going to bring it out.
Amazing. So Leon, how can people
so
find
much hand
you?
movement.
Now the
they can find me on. They will be able to find me. I'm just changing my website. They'll be able to find me on leonkamer.com in about 2 weeks. Do I
Is
give
that
phone numbers on this?
K-A-M-
K-A-M-M-E-R.
K-A-M-M-E-R.
Like Mary had a little lamb. K-A-M-M-E-R.
I can share all your details.
Yeah,
below
share
as
all my
well.
details, and it'd be great to hear from people.
Amazing.
Mm.
Leon, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining me
Alexandra.
today.
Thank you
What a
very
great
much.
combo. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you.
G'day everyone from Australia.
G'day, mate.
Thank
Bye.
you.